This is the X-Zone Broadcast Network, broadcasting worldwide on broadcast affiliates and satellite program providers, including CNN Broadcast Network, Sirius Satellite Network, Star Media, Good News Radio Network, Angel Broadcast Network, Wiki Broadcast Network, and WPBN TV. For more information on the X-Zone Broadcast Network, visit us at www.xzbn.net.
Whether you're a skeptic or a believer, join me, Rob McConnell, on the X-Zone TV show, coming soon to screens of all sizes. On the X-Zone TV show, we'll investigate UFOs, ghosts, alien abductions, demonic possession, psychic phenomenon, angels, lake monsters, Bigfoot, unsolved mysteries, and all subject matter from within the world of the paranormal and the science of parapsychology, and much, much more. The X-Zone TV show with yours truly, Rob McConnell, www.xzonetv.com, is a rel-mar McConnell media company and Airplay Media production. Unwilling to be the government's deadly assassin, gifted psychic Kahara Mitchell went AWOL and ended up buried under rubble in the wake of a great tsunami. She regained consciousness far from Earth on the medical ship of a Daguerreonian intergalactic fleet. Has she been rescued or abducted by aliens? The Chalice of Carrie, Kahira O'Donnell's latest paranormal science fiction romance, is the passionate story of an Earthwoman and her destined mates, twin kings from another galaxy. Kahara uses her gifts fighting alongside Lords Rom and Ra in a war that will determine the destiny of galaxies. The Chalice of Carrie by Kahira O'Donnell is now available at KahiraO'Donnell.com or at Amazon.com.
All Hit Radio.
Welcome to the X-Zone, a place where fact is fiction and fiction is reality. Now, here's your host, Rob McConnell.
And welcome back to the X-Zone, everyone. This is hour number 4 for Tuesday, May the 26th in the year 2015. And don't forget, June 26, 27, 28 in Brantford, Ontario, one of the greatest events that has ever been put together when it comes to extraterrestrial crop circles, hypnosis, abductees, experiencers, and much more, including dowsing. Like I said, this date, mark it down, remember it. Come to Brantford, Ontario. It's close. It's really close. You know, it's people from Windsor, come on over. People from New York State, come on up. People from Toronto and beyond, come on west, young man, come on west. Because June 26, 27, 28, Brantford, Ontario, the Alien Cosmic Expo is being held. If you'd like to get information on this great event, how you can participate, 24 of the world's leading speakers, www.aliencosmicexpo.com. In fact, my guest this hour, an old friend of the X-Zone Nation, and I don't mean old in age, I mean old as in we've had the opportunity of having this lady on the show before. Patty GREER is my guest. And if anyone has an interest in crop circles, there's one name that stands out above all in my books. She is the real McCoy. She is the true grit of crop circles. And Patty GREER, welcome back to the X-Zone. Great having you with us again.
Thank you, Rob. Thank you for doing so many shows. I believe you said 3,800 people you've interviewed, that's a commitment.
It is, just like the commitment you have to getting down to the truth. And that's what you are, Patty Greer. You're a truth seeker when it comes to crop circles. And Patty, for our listeners who may be listening to you for the first time on our new network that we're on, the Starcom Radio Network, tell us a little bit about yourself.
I started going in the crop circles in 2006 to do a healing on mercury poisoning. I had gone and trusted a dentist to do what he had agreed, which was white porcelain, and I woke up with a mouthful of mercury fillings, silver, and lost the use of my hands for years.
Oh, God.
So I was so desperate to heal, I would have done anything, even go lay in a crop circle. So as soon as I went into my first crop circle, I was completely so blown away by the mysticism and how the hair stood up on my arms, and I had goosebumps head to toe, and my eyes felt like they were going to pop out. I was so amazed, head to toe. Everything in me, every cell in my body was lit like a blowtorch, and that first moment I felt it, I knew I was going to be a regular. And I went back in 2007 by myself for 9 weeks, stayed in B&Bs right in the epicenter, and was in and out of crop circles day after day after day, up on the hillsides night after night. I look back now and I think I wasn't fully sane. I was, dealing with pretty heavy mercury poisoning, but what an ultimate gift, because I've been in more than 100 crop circles now. I've made 6 movies about them that are extremely innocent. I mean, strictly cameras in the fields, in the crop circles, summer after summer.
My gosh. Patty, what have we learned through your research about crop circles?
Well, I have learned more in the last 6 months than in all 9 years. And it's a different kind of learning. The 9 years, what I learned was what it's like being in the crop circles. But now I spent 3 weeks very accidentally with kind of a secret person that worked with the only scientist in the world who is in the Guinness Book of World Records for his brilliance. He also is the only scientist that ever went public with finding scientific data on crop circles proving that they're real. And his findings are so outrageous, I can't believe nobody's talked about it. And there's a big article out where the 2 top crop circle researchers, one in Europe and one over here, that they're just completely dissing his work. And I'm thinking, did they not know or what? But what I learned is that they actually found, and he had samples from crop circles in England, where I go, that these crop circles not only had these amazing bends where they were bent over at a 90-degree angle with a heated bubble that broke open sometimes, letting the steam out. So something has hit these plants all at the same time and bent them in perfect sacred geometry. But they also additionally found iron ore molded into the leaves in some of the crop circles.
Wow.
And when they peeled it away in the lab, they found that the iron ore had molded to the leaf, like I said. And in order for it to do that, it would have to be floating in the air in the middle of a field at 1,200 degrees.
Patty, stand by. We've got to take our first commercial break. Patty Greer is my guest. PattyGreer.net. We'll be back in 2 minutes. Don't go away.
The Alien Cosmic Expo will be held in Brantford, Ontario, June 26, 27, 28, and will feature 24 internationally acclaimed experts and researchers of UFOs, crop circles, alien abductions, and much more in this 3-day 2015 summer Canadian event. Experts in the field of extraterrestrials and alien encounters, out-of-body experiences, past life regression, soul reading, psychic, and mediumship will all be presented with professionalism, integrity, and credibility, making the Alien Cosmic Expo the largest event of its kind in Canada for 2015. The exhibitor hall will feature a spectacular lineup of gifted mediums, psychics, astrologers, channelers, aura photography, healers, as well as books, DVDs, alternative health products, crystals, jewelry, and much more, completing the venue with something for everyone. For all information and to purchase your tickets for the Alien Cosmic Expo, go to www.aliencosmicexpo.com. That's www.aliencosmicexpo.com.
Rob McConnell here, presenting an overview for Nicholas Paul Jennings, author of a fascinating book, Amen. It presents facts revealed by Egyptologists, facts that enable us to understand why Amen is the beginning of creation of God. It provides recommendations for religious leaders of the major religions to unify their beliefs and teach the Word of God. Love one another. Amen informs people how mankind conceived God. It was the Egyptians that developed the concepts of a soul, a hereafter, and Son of God. And finally, after the worship of many gods, they conceived the belief in one universal God, the maker of all there is. For more information, visit www.futureofgodamen.com. That's www.futureofgodamen.com. Whether you're a skeptic or a believer, join me, Rob McConnell, on the X-Zone TV show, coming soon to screens of all sizes. On the X-Zone TV show, we'll investigate UFOs, ghosts, alien abductions, demonic possession, psychic phenomenon, angels, lake monsters, Bigfoot, unsolved mysteries, and all subject matter from within the world of the paranormal and the science of parapsychology, and much, much more. The X-Zone TV show with yours truly, Rob McConnell, www.xzonetv.com, is a rel-mar McConnell media company and Airplay Media production.
My name is Michael Telstar, Canada's leading mentalist from Toronto, Ontario.
Hi, my name is Splenda, and you're listening to my dad, Rob McConnell, on the X-Zone.
This is Psychic Dorothy from St. Catharines, and you're listening to Rob McConnell.
Hello, my name is Holly Reeves, an astrologer from Astro For You, and you're listening to Canada's #1 paranormal radio show, The X-Zone, with Rob McConnell.
Welcome to The X-Zone, a place where fact is fiction and fiction is reality. Now, here's your host, Rob McConnell.
This is the X-Zone on the Starcom Radio Network. My name is Rob McConnell. We're coming to you from our broadcast center in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. Worldwide toll-free, 800-610-7035. My email address is xzone@xzoneradiotv.com. On all social media sites, X-Zone Radio TV. And if you'd like to listen to the X-Zone 24/7, 365, it's very simple. Go to www.xzoneradiotv.com. Patty GREER is my guest. And I've got to tell you, when it comes to Crop Circle, there is no one, in my opinion, better qualified than this lady who has done so much research into this phenomenon. And she's breaking some news right here on our show. So please, Patty, take us back.
Yeah, we were talking about the findings of William Levengood. And he was a brilliant scientist who passed away a year and a half ago. I was at his wake 6 months ago and met a lot of the researchers that had worked with him over the course of the years. But his research really has gone unnoticed. And I'm watching people kind of poke at his memory now without respecting the fact that he actually told the truth more than anybody else on the planet scientifically about crop circles. So we talked about the molten iron ore, which is just phenomenal to think that they're finding that in crop circles. And I remember one of the years I was there at the research center when I came back and reported that I was the only idiot that went out in the rain because I was such a devoted crappie over there. If there's a new crop circle, I'm going to find it. So just pouring rain, everybody's, having coffee at the lodge and not going out, and I'm just determined. So I had come back and reported that in the middle of this circle, there was this gray matter. And the guy that owned the research center was jumping up and down, handing me a spoon, like, please, go back. Here's a baggie and a spoon. Go get it. And I wasn't really sure what it was. But, I did, of course, go back and bring samples. And I didn't even ask. I feel like I'm kind of floating over there when I do the work. But it wasn't until this last fall where I was speaking at an event in Michigan, and a man approached me and said, there's someone I need to introduce you to. And I didn't know the man, but he was there with a lady that was at the event. And so the next day, I let him take me out to this farm. And I still didn't know, but he said, there's somebody you need to meet. So this woman and I are sitting at the round table with this man, and I didn't realize that she was, in fact, the secret not scientist that had worked with Levengood for 16 years in the lab and knew everything that they had done. And when she started telling me about the research with the photos, the iron ore was one of the shocking things that came up. But the other thing, which made me actually sit down and hold my head, going, ow, you're expanding my thinking, she said that from their research, they learned that crop circles come out of the ground initially. They are coming out of the earth in counter-rotating vortices, in a pair, spinning opposite directions, one clockwise, one counterclockwise, out of the earth in very specific locations, typically on a ley line between two sacred sites, almost always over an aquifer of water. So those two things are a constant. And this area, the epicenter between Stonehenge, the Avebury Stone Circle, and Glastonbury, England, are more ley lines than anywhere else on the planet. It's like a spider web when we do the ley line map. So when we see where all the crop circles are located, they're always sitting over ley lines. And this area is sitting over the largest aquifer in the world, salt aquifer. So it's the perfect canvas for the circle makers and has been for at least 200 years that we know of.
Patty, the fact that the vortexes come out of the earth, is there any correlation to the force behind the creation of the crop circles and lightning? Because there are scientists who believe that lightning starts beneath the earth.
That's something I don't know, but we are starting to hear a lot of things being energized by lightning, like spaceships. But I'm not an expert there. But I do want to go back and finish this information from Levengood that actually put me in a chair.
Okay.
So what he said was that, we can see in the bend, and the only thing they've been able to humanly compare to it is a microwave. If you stuck wheat or corn or barley stems into a microwave, you could get them to blow a bubble and bend. But how to get 100,000 of them to bend in a particular way, and then the others are going a different direction for shading, and when you look at the intricacy of these patterns, it is really too complex. But what he said was that there are microwave energies, there are ion, electron, avalanche energies, thermogradients, there's convective stability, and there's other areas that are undergoing turbulence. There are electric fields, and all of those fields have very specific and distinct boundary conditions, and they're always interacting with the planet. So he said that the planet herself, there's electrical fields, rivers, and currents that move across the surface of the Earth. They are always there, and they are always going to interact. So we have a lot of activity in the Earth, on the Earth, and also in the sky. And what's happening with crop circles, scientifically, is that they're coming out of the Earth initially, but they've already had a predetermined agreement with ETs and humanity if they're needed for this particular message. So these frequencies, which are coming from all three in many crop circles, ET, humans, and inner Earth, are blended together in these spinning vortices. And they're coming in at predetermined frequencies for that particular message. I mean, it's beyond my thinking, but I understand it. And I think a lot of your listeners are going to probably have a more scientific understanding, but really it's phenomenal to think that crop circles are initially coming out of the earth, because I have always, for 9 years, pointed to the sky and said, thanks, guys, when I now have to point up and down.
Yeah.
Pretty incredible. And, you know, we almost underestimate the earth as a living, feeling being. And when I start to think about the fact that the only time my camera ever did not work, it was when I was asked by people to interview the farmer that mows down most of the crop circles at the Avery Stone Circle. And for me, I feel like I've been so telepathic with all 6 movies that basically I wet my finger and hold it up in the air and wait for a response, you know what I mean? So I didn't get a response. It was like, I'm not resonating with this. This is not what the circle makers want in this movie. And the people were like, oh, come on, you got to interview the farmer. So it was interesting. I finally gave in. I'm like, I'm not resonating, but I'll do it. If people really need it, I'll interview him at least. So he shows up, he meets me, and this is 2008. My camera, for the first time ever, would not go on the tripod. I rammed it on after, like, up, down, turned it over, took the piece off, put it back on. It wouldn't go on the tripod. So I was like, yow. So I finally got the mics, and I hooked them up, and they wouldn't work. So I had to replace 16 batteries. I'm thinking, this is really unusual, especially not to be able to get my camera on the tripod. And I finally, the farmer's counting down. He had 20 minutes. Hey, mate, I'm down to 9 minutes. I'm down to 6 minutes. So finally, I looked at the farmer and I said, sir, I've never seen my gear like this, but tell you what, it's a beautiful day. You got a great combine there, but let's go inside the barn where I can use my knee as a tripod, the interior mic on the camera, and we can just run this before you have to drive away. Oh, no, can't go in the barn. We just sprayed in there. And I said, excuse me, what did you just spray with? Isn't that where the food goes? Well, we just sprayed the wheat, too. Now, I'm standing with a friend, assistant, and I said, yeah, I'm still, this is before we knew consciously about GMOs in America, at
right.
least. I'm standing there puzzled like, sir, what did you spray the barn with and the field with that you won't go in your own barn? And his answer, of course, was, oh, mate, looky there, I've got to go. Time's up. And he drives away. Now, I'm standing looking at my friend dumbfounded like, who would poison the food? Who would, what? I don't get it. And so all of a sudden, the hair went up on my arms. I started to get goosebumps head to toe, and I said, ooh, I'm getting a tingle. I feel like I'm in a crop circle. And all of a sudden, I looked at my friend, got a smile on my face, and said, ooh, watch this. And the camera went right on the tripod and locked down.
Son of a gun.
And she and I were cracking up, and I said, whoa, wow. Watch this. And I put the mics back on, and both of them worked perfectly as he drove away.
Divine intervention?
I think so.
Yeah.
I really do trust my intuition. And these movies are so non-bull. No makeup, no hairdos, no script, no storyboard. These movies just happen.
Now, that is reality TV.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The real deal, but
that's right.
ET mode.
Listen, Patty, we've got to go for our news break in about 1 minute and 30 seconds, but are there any common threads between all the different formations of the crop circles when it comes to locations?
Well, yeah, I told you the common thread is the aquifer, the water underneath, as well as the ley lines, the sacred energy. And the epicenter has clearly been found to be this area, but a lot of crop circles may be happening in places where nobody flies over, nobody walks into, nobody drives by.
Oh.
I mean, who knows? The middle of Africa could have all kinds of crop circles. And crop circles are not actually always in crops. We have sand circles, not the guys that are doing them, but real sand circles. I have a photo of an ice circle, and I know that when I was in Hawaii with all this stuff in my head all the time, I looked out at the water where there was rocks and there were circles there, and I was stumped. And I pulled the bartender out, and I said, would you walk out here on the pier with me? And he said, I've never seen anything like that.
All right, Patty, stand by. We've got to take our news break. Exo Nation, the one and only Patty Greer is our guest this hour. www.pattygreer.net. And Patty and I will be back on the other side of this news break. Don't go away. Whether you're a skeptic or a believer, join me, Rob McConnell, on the X-Zone TV show, coming soon to screens of all sizes. On the X-Zone TV show, we'll investigate UFOs, ghosts, alien abductions, demonic possession, psychic phenomenon, angels, lake monsters, Bigfoot, unsolved mysteries, and all subject matter from within the world of the paranormal and the science of parapsychology, and much, much more. The X-Zone TV show with yours truly, Rob McConnell, www.xzonetv.com, is a rel-mar McConnell media company and Airplay Media production.
Little children aren't the only ones afraid of the dark. Millions of soldiers return from war zones with PTSD, anger, frustration, fear, and loneliness, much of which surfaces during the darkness of the night. You have the chance to change the lives of these American heroes. Songs and Stories for Soldiers.us provides free MP3 players for these men and women. With a list of 3 million songs in 16 different styles, 100,000 audiobooks, and 30,000 old-time radio programs, every veteran can find something to soothe and comfort them at no cost. All our players contain an 8-hour audio program designed to help veterans fall asleep. With 1,500 plus vets now participating, it's our goal to deliver 10,000 audio players this year. Go to our website at songsandstoriesforsoldiers.us. Help us help a veteran make it through the night.
With each new extreme weather event or terrorist act, it becomes increasingly obvious that we live in uncertain and challenging times. We all buy car insurance. Why not collapse and catastrophe insurance? Matthew Stein, an MIT-trained engineer and green builder, has written 2 outstanding books to help people prepare, plan for, and deal with everything from minor situations lasting a few days to full-on collapse. Matt's first book, When Technology Fails, is a manual for self-reliance, sustainable living, and surviving the long emergency. This massive book covers the gamut from first aid and emergency preparedness to alternative healing, renewable energy, primitive living skills, and 18th century technologies that could be critical to your comfort and survival in a long-lasting crisis. Matt's second book, When Disaster Strikes, is a comprehensive emergency preparedness handbook and survival guide. When Disaster Strikes is an essential item for every family's go bag. Both books are available at all usual sources. There's a wealth of totally free information posted at whentechfails.com, and author-signed copies may be purchased at mattstein.com. That's www.whentechfails.com and www.mattstein.com. I'm Rob McConnell, and welcome to the X-Zone, a place where fact is fiction and fiction is reality. Today on the X-Zone, Bessie, the lake monster of Lake Erie. From the time the ice starts to break and flow on Lake Erie, monster trackers start their never-ending quest to prove the existence of Lake Erie's monster, Bessie. When it comes to looking for Bessie, internet provider and developer Dirk Vanderploeg of Hamilton, Ontario, starts his electronic and physical search from his Lake Erie cottage. Using a television camera that is equipped with night vision technology connected to a computer, Vanderploeg and his group of dedicated monster trackers around the world spend countless hours watching computer screens in the hope to get a glimpse of the elusive Bessie at www.monstertracker.com. Spring through fall, Vanderploeg and people along Lake Erie shoreline continue their search for proof that the elusive and legendary Bessie does in fact exist. Welcome back to the X-Zone Radio Show on the Starcom Radio Network. My name is Rob McConnell. 800-610-7035, worldwide toll-free. Email xzone at xzoneradiotv.com. On all social media sites, X-Zone Radio TV, and our website where you can listen to the X-Zone 24/7, 365, www.xzoneradiotv.com. Just before I get back to Patty Greer, don't forget, Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. until 5 p.m., the very best of radio programming with my friend Ed Till on Starcom Radio. Now, I've got to tell you something. If you're not used to real radio, this is going to wake you up. That's the Ed Till Show, Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. until 5 p.m., right here on the Starcom Radio Network. Patty Greer is my guest. Her website is pattygreer.net. We're talking about crop circles this hour here in the X-Zone, and it's always a great pleasure having Patty on because she is the real thing. You know, when it comes to crop circles, in my book, Patty is where credibility is. And Patty, thanks for coming on the show. But you've got to finish this story you're telling us about crop circles.
Yeah, it's been pretty amazing. And thank you for mentioning my website. The thing about my website is if you pop it up while we're having the interview, while you're listening to the show, you will see at least 100 crop circles in your face. On every page, there are collages of some of my favorite crop circles. And seeing is believing. You know, the thing about crop circles is they really are a communication coming from us and ETs and the inner earth. And one of the, at Brantford, and next week I'm speaking at, in 3 days, I'll be speaking at Contact in the Desert.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. There's going to be like 60 speakers. It's a mass event. I can't even believe who's going to be there. So I'm going to bring my huge and massive camera. I keep going back and forth, but, you know, why wouldn't I? It's a beehive of amazing people.
It is. It's
and,
right.
Yeah, I mean, you just never know what you're going to see and hear. And having that camera, I really guess I'm being drawn again to get back to work. But the thing about crop circles that was one of the more amazing facts that William Levengood discovered in the lab and at the farm where I was staying was that the seeds inside crop circles, when they are dried and then grown in a germination chamber or on the farm, ready for this, Rob?
I'm ready.
These seeds grew up to 400% more food and biofuel.
Wow.
With up to 75% more nutrition per seed.
All right, this is definitely a wake-up call. And why aren't more people listening, Patty? You must find it so frustrating that...
Well, you know, I am, strangely enough, still one of the best-kept secrets in the UFO field. You know, I'm out speaking at events, but I unfortunately was really naive going in. So I chose distributors that have pretty much put my movies in the freezer for 4 years. They've got 10 years to do it. So it's been business-wise where I've been really stunned that I stepped into the wrong pool without knowing it. I came in so green and so enlightened by the circles that I wasn't thinking about physical stuff. I was just like la-la land making movies. My first 4 movies I made in 2 years. No training, no plan to do anything of the kind. I finished a full feature film every 6 months and paid for it. That's how little I knew. So the fact that they got put in a freezer, that I chose the wrong people by far, has been why people don't know my work. But it hasn't stopped me. PBS played 2 of my movies last year, 25 or more times. And now that I'm getting out at events, it's not about me, it's about the information, but I really have been drawn into this field in absolutely magical ways. And the new movie that I'm starting to do is about the magic. And it's about all the really bizarre things that only if you really saw me say it with a serious face could you possibly believe the ways that I've made these movies. I mean, they really happen through total synchronicity without any planning.
Patty, I asked you before if there was any common thread between the locations of the crop circles. Let me ask you this question. Is there a common thread between the people who discover the crop circles?
Yes, I think the common thread is we're all called croppies, and we will do just about anything to get to the next crop circle. I mean, the devotees are a very strange breed, and there's not a lot of us. And what's stunning is how well the media has hidden the phenomena this long. But look at spaceships and Roswell. I mean, my God, they're champions. And the more we learn, I can't even imagine, you've done so many shows, you must have heard every outrageous possible story. For me, I've been in so many crop circles that I have no question that they're real. And when I took my last boyfriend in, he said, I'm not going to pretend. I'm like, that's fine. And so we started walking in, and the minute my skin lit up, and I could feel the little teeny hairs stand up on my arm, I turned around and looked at him, and the hair was really standing up on his arm, and his jaw was down on his chest. He was stumped. And I looked at him and said, oh, don't fake it for me, honey.
I have to ask you, Patty, you said your last boyfriend. How many boyfriends have you gone through because of these crop circles?
Well, I did lose him after he watched me film my 5th movie. And that's an interesting question. I've been single for a while. It is a difficult field to be in when it's real for you. And the last man that I was in love with before this one truly was the beginning of all this. 2001, I woke up in the morning and he was nose to nose making sure I was breathing, which pretty much stunned me. You open your eyes and there's somebody on your nose. And he said, do you remember what you said in your sleep last night? This is one of those crazy stories that's in the new movie. And I said, no, I was sleeping. He said that I woke him up by saying, it's not what you see, it's what you don't see. And then he couldn't get back to sleep. And I'm like out cold. And all of a sudden he watches this car go back behind the house and do a U-turn, come toward the house. And he realized, wait a minute, that's a solid mountain. There's no road back there. And by the time he realized that, the first ball of light came through the bedroom wall. And this was a house where I hand-fed a lot of deer and hand-fed a fox, so I had a lot of wildlife woo-woo at this house, which he knew, but he had no idea what these things were, nor had I ever seen them. And the first ball of light came through the wall of my bedroom, circled the ceiling, and this poor guy could not wake me up. He said he shook the bed so hard it was hitting the wall, yelling, Patty, Patty, wake up. And he could not wake me.
Yeah, I've shaken a bed up against a wall in my day. Yeah, I sure have.
Yeah, right. Well, for better reasons, I'm guessing.
Oh, yeah.
So the second ball came through the room, and it turned bright green like a glow stick, he claimed. And I'm just woke up. I'm thinking, I'm new at this. What are you talking about? Great dream. Can I get up and go to the bathroom, please? And he kept saying, this was not a dream. I know what I saw. And this was pretty much the beginning of my contact that I know of for sure, because he absolutely witnessed it. And when the green one came in, he almost bore holes in the walls, shaking the bed, trying to get me to join him in this excruciating journey because he was scared out of his skin, I would imagine. And he couldn't get me to wake up because I had been taken.
Abducted?
Taken.
Taken.
I don't like the word taken. Abducted feels so victim. But I had left my body and gone on a journey, and it took me years until I had a proper regression with Mary Rodwell from Australia and learned about where I had been taken. And it helped me to understand, really, years later, how I learned all this so quickly. And a lot of people that have an experience with other dimensional beings claim that when they come back, all of a sudden they know stuff, a lot of stuff, and it happened very quickly. What I was told and shown was that it was the Library of Illumination, which is also called the Akashic Records Library. And when you're taken there, whatever it is they want you to know, they download really quickly. And I've been stunned by the whole process. For me, it's been quite the journey, and the thing with my hands and the mercury, I'm kind of still at the tail end of it 11 years later. But, you kind of forget about one thing when your life gets this interesting. So they didn't really heal me, but they sure gave me something else to focus on. And it seems like basically, my life is really, really about crop circles because they're giving me a lot of information how to decipher them. So all these talks that I'm doing, I mentioned Contact in the Desert.
Yeah.
Then I'm going to be at your event that you mentioned in Brantford, which is Alien Cosmic Expo. And then I'll be speaking at Roswell at their UFO Festival, Roswell, New Mexico. And then I'll be back up in Canada for the Modern Knowledge Tour. And so right now, in this last week, I've been face down creating my PowerPoint. And I do 2 presentations at each event. And the first one is about deciphering crop circles. And I read them like a book now. And because I've been focused on thousands of them to make this movie and go through this guy's library of thousands of crop circle photos over the last decades, it's been really easy for me to group them because some of them are clearly pointing to a sacred site. Some of them are clearly 3-dimensional so that we can see that they're multidimensional. Some of them are clearly, when you spin them, propulsion technology. And some of them are schematics for free energy devices. I begin the program with that, which is the most amazing story. Do you know Sasha Stone?
Not personally.
A really fascinating man. I took him in his first crop circle last summer. And I was in England filming. We had a drone and 5D cameras. It was really fun. So I took Sasha Stone into his first crop circle, and we were filming us. And we met these 5 women, and he knew them from somewhere, and it turns out they were the free energy team called Quantum Energy Generator, QEG. Do you know of their work?
No, I don't, dear.
Oh, it's one of the great free energy devices. So I was really excited to meet a group of people in a crop circle that were creating a free energy device. So after I filmed Sasha and I did a little run on blah, 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 I turned the camera over and I pointed to these 5 women, had no idea who they were. And I said, "Hi, ladies, what brings you here?" And they said, "We were over in the Avery Stone Circle yesterday with all of our tech team working on this free energy device, and we sat in the stone circle and we decided to say a meditation, a prayer, to call in, if possible, a crop circle that would acknowledge our free energy device." And the formation that I met them in, they sent me a photo of their device next to a photo of the Dorset crop circle, and it is remarkable. So what we have here is the day before they had asked the circle makers, they had done the human piece of creating a crop circle. and they were sitting on the earth in a sacred site at the ancient stone circle, 12 of them, praying to have a crop circle that acknowledged their device. And when you see this photo during my talk, because I'm going to begin my talk with it, it's just amazing how humans can ask for a crop circle, and if you're really serious about it, they do come. And that's not the first time I've recorded a story of people telling me that. So there is that element of coming out of the earth and human created by consciousness. And then there are the other ones where clearly other dimensions have been warning us about historical events on Earth. Do you remember the alien face in the disc crop circle?
Yes.
That was a creepy one. The big alien gray,
Yep.
and then the big round disc with all those little dots and dashes, which turns out to be binary code. Do you remember how they deciphered it?
Not offhand, Patty.
Well, they deciphered it with a mathematical code. It's called an ASCII code, and then it went into mathematics, zeros and ones, and then they brought it into the alphabet, and it was deciphered in perfection, shall we say, within a year of 9/11. It was shortly after 9/11. It was the next summer, and what the circle makers said was in binary code. And when they use binary code, it's because they don't want you to make a mistake.
All right, Patty,
That's
we're
like
going
putting
to
it in writing.
Patty, we're going to have a bit of a cliffhanger. I have to take my final break. Exonation Patty Greer is our special guest. www.pattygreer.net. We'll be back on the other side of this break. Don't go away.
What if someone told you you could live to be 120? Would you believe him? What if he told you the Bible guaranteed it? All you needed to do was follow his rules and buy his products. Would you do it? What if you invested 20 years of your life in him? What if he tested his substances on your child? What if your child became brain damaged as a result? Meet Dr. Tyler Belknap, a fast-talking Texas admin turned health guru. At the helm of a vast health food and supplement empire, he has established himself as the authority on nutrition and longevity. But what his followers don't know is that his products are laced with bizarre psychoactive substances from genetically modified plants developed in his very own secret lab. No wonder his customers can't stop using them. Tyler Belknap will stop at nothing to keep his edge in the market, even if it means experimenting on children. Chasing 120, a story of food, faith, fraud, and the pursuit of longevity, a novel from the pen of political cartoonist Monty Wolverton, is an easy and entertaining read full of rich characters and intrigue. It hits home in a world filled with all kind of hucksterism and offers a glimpse of what can happen when GMO technology falls into the wrong hands. Chasing 120 by Monty Wolverton. Get your copy today at www.ptm.org/120 or on Amazon.com.
When demystified, shamanism is an ancient science delving into the quantum level of life. Understanding and implementing basic shamanic principles can empower the individual to heal, manifest, and evolve in these rapidly changing times. Path Home Shamanic Art School is a one-of-a-kind Colorado State certified occupational school training and certifying shamanic practitioners and teachers. We also train individuals simply interested in empowering and enriching their lives through shamanism. Path Home's certification classes are in a week-long block format, enabling national and international students to participate. We also provide online classes and long-distance shamanic healing sessions as well. Discover all you can be. Enter the limitless world of shamanism today. For more information, visit findyourpathhome.com or call 303-775-3431. Rob McConnell here, presenting an overview for Nicholas Paul Jennings, author of a fascinating book, Amen. It presents facts revealed by Egyptologists,
facts that enable us to understand why Amen is the beginning of creation of God. It provides recommendations for religious leaders of the major religions to unify their beliefs and teach the Word of God. Love one another. Amen informs people how mankind conceived God. It was the Egyptians that developed the concepts of a soul, a hereafter, and Son of God. And finally, after the worship of many gods, they conceived the belief in one universal God, the maker of all there is. For more information, visit www.futureofgodamen.com. That's www.futureofgodamen.com.
Exonation, Patty GREER is going to be at the Alien Cosmic Expo. That's going to be held in Brantford, Ontario, June 26, 27, 28. Come on by, see her. Visit www.aliencosmicexpo.com for all the information. You can see who's going to be there, what the speaker lineup is, and even how to buy your tickets online. That's www.aliencosmicexpo.com. First of all, Patty, great having you on the show. Thank you so much. I know you're a very busy lady, and for the Exonation, it means a lot that you're here with us tonight. I know we've got so much more to talk about. You're going to be back with us in the near future whenever your schedule allows. Just let us know. We'll get you right on. So let's finish this story.
Yay. Well, the ETs, I do believe, had a response to 9/11. And it was the summer right after. And their message was in the binary code, in a field with a huge telecommunication tower with satellite dishes. So they didn't shoot for an arbitrary field. I think they also added the element of, let's put it in the field where they can get it out to the world. And the message was this, in code. Beware the bearers of false gifts and their broken promises. Much pain, but still time. Believe there is good out there. We oppose deception. Conduit closing. I think that was a direct response to 9/11 for the people of the world. I think we've been getting a lot of messages through the crop circles for centuries probably, but certainly for the last 200 years that we know of. We've seen distant star maps where planets are missing, and it's very interesting that in the last few years, including yesterday or the day before, the farmers for some reason are either choosing or being instructed to destroy the messages in the crop circles. There was a beauty a couple days ago, and the farmer drove his tractor through it and ripped some new holes in it so that you couldn't appreciate the pattern and take photos from above. But, ignoring people trying to suppress the messages, I had a realization this week that I found to be a real cherry, which is that if the circle makers are sending the crop circles from in the earth, out of the ground, and laying them in the fields, then they're really for all of us, because anybody flying over in a plane, a spaceship, or in a ball of light, they're going to see that crop circle from the air. And those that are in the earth are most likely going to see that crop circle energy message, compressed file, sent into the earth as well. And all the beings in the water that goes out into all the waters of the earth, because there's aquifers under all the crop circles, there's something about the water that is also a part of this. So it really is all of us and all of our elements working together. And the messages are really for all of us to wake up and start being a lot more aware and working on the evolution that we are all a part of. So I do have 6 movies. You can stream them on the website. I can send you DVDs. My website is pattygreer.net, PATTYGREER.net. I would say I'm definitely the most devoted crop circle researcher in the latest days of who's out there making movies. There's certainly a lot of people in the fields, but, a lot of people can't get to England, so it's pretty nice to be able to sit in your living room and have it brought to you, because there's so much magic going on. And the messages, all you have to do is look at them.
All right, Patty, I hate to do this, my dear friend, but we have to say so long for tonight. Thank you so much for joining us. Exonation Patty GREER, the Cecil B. DeMille of the crop circle world, has been my guest this hour. She'll be at the Alien Cosmic Expo in Brantford, June 26, 27, 28. That's it for tonight, Exxon. I'll be back tomorrow night, and always remember to keep your eyes to the sky and your heart to the light. For the Exxon Radio Show, Starcom Radio Network, I am Rob McConnell. Good night, everyone.